Without a doubt, the best news I've seen ever. Max Chilton is back racing in a top tier of motorsport. He's back well, he's not back. He's going to IndyCar with Ganassi, which is really good news. He's their fourth driver, and I'm really looking forward to this season now. I mean, I've always watched, well, not always watched, the last couple of seasons I've been watching as much IndyCar as possible. I've really enjoyed the racing. The variety and different winners and all that sort of stuff is great. You know, it's not just the boring Formula 1 or recent Formula 1, just like 2 or 3 people win a race each season. It's like 4, 5, 6, 7 different winners each season. You know, the podium, it could include some drivers you've never heard of the podium sometimes. So it's a great move for Max Chilton to go to IndyCar, to be back in a top tier motorsport. He did race obviously a little bit with Nissan last year in the World Endurance Championship, as well as Indy Light. I wouldn't really class Indy Light as top tier. There's only like 9 drivers in it, but still he won a race and got a few podiums. And in terms of the World Endurance Championship, well, Nissan have pulled out, which is a bit disappointing. But I'm really happy because Max Chilton is a driver, you know, we don't all make fun of, but, you know, some people in the F1 community do make fun of. But I'm actually genuinely a fan, and obviously, you know, jokes aside, he actually is a really good driver as well. He got to Formula 1, you know, with help from funding, obviously. Most Formula 1 drivers nowadays need a little bit of funding along the lines. But he won races in GP2, he was really strong in GP2, I think 4th in the season before he got promoted to Formula 1, and then obviously after 2 seasons with Marussia weren't that successful, went to Indy Lights, did a pretty good year, missed quite a few rounds but still finished like 4th or something in the championship with a win and quite a lot of podiums. And yeah, I think this is a good time because we need some British drivers who are obviously still quite young. Max Chilton was like 23 or something, isn't he? And he's still got a really good chance of being, you know, a really good driver in the world of motorsport. He could even go back to Formula 1 if his efforts in IndyCar, you know, go well. Obviously, if he can battle, you know, realistically, he's not going to be winning the championship in his first season. Obviously, he'll be listed as a Formula 1 driver by all of the American people that watch him over there. But he is a really, really good driver, you know, just in general. I mean, I know a lot of people say he's a rubbish driver, but he's a really good driver. Obviously, don't get to Formula 1 without being a pretty decent driver, and I think he was more than just decent, but he's obviously got to prove himself in his first season in America. It's not just going to be an easy ride. I mean, he's obviously with a big team, Ganassi. Obviously, they've won many championships down the years, obviously with Dixon as well being their #1 driver. He's going to have a good mentor there, obviously, someone with a lot of experience in the sport. So I think realistically, Max Chilton, who's there? Is it Sage Karam is their other driver there? Just checking up the other drivers at the moment. Obviously Dixon, their team leader, Tony Kanaan, who's a great driver as well, and Charlie Kimball, I think, is their 3rd driver. So yeah, Chilton's taking over the #8 entry, which last year was Sebastian Saavedra and Sage Karam, who are driving that #8 car. So he's switching over as a full-time race driver in the #8, which is really, really good. I mean, obviously Max Chilton, he will need to be doing well. You know, if you're in a top team, you can't be just sort of happy with finishing races. You need to be, you know, honestly, I feel he needs to get a podium this year. I mean, it's not as unlikely as it would be, you know, saying Max Chilton getting a podium in Formula 1 is pretty unlikely, let's be honest, unless he was with one of 2 teams. He probably wasn't going to be scoring a podium last season, but in IndyCar, you can be pretty much with any team and have a chance for a podium. So I think a podium is definitely the minimum sort of expectation of Chilton. But obviously, I'm a massive fan of Chilton. I got to meet him, and he's a really nice guy. So I really want to see him do well in IndyCar and fly the flag for British drivers. Obviously, over in America, we had Justin Wilson, who's obviously sadly passed away last year in a crash. But he was a great driver there. He really sort of flew the flag for England and the United Kingdom over there. So, you know, if Max Chilton can sort of take that and hopefully take it even further, that would be really, really great to see maybe Chilton one day battling it out for a championship over there in IndyCar. But it's not exactly Formula 1 news, but it is sort of because Chilton is a legend. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Best of luck to Max Chilton. Hopefully you do really well over there in IndyCar. Goodbye.